Welcome back and prepare to be bedazzled, because today we're going to be shining light on how early life slavery has decimated the American dream and has caused it to be almost impossible for people to achieve. So how has early life slavery adversely impinged on the American dream in all facets? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. However, before I do so, I wanted to preface this video by stating that the practice of slavery in any form is inhumane, immoral, reprehensible, and unvindicated. Even though all forms of slavery should be abolished, modern slavery isn't apt to ever be abolished. The mandate to attend the 13-year K-12 compulsory concentration camp that is imposed against people against their own volition is ineffably inhumane, is the utmost pernicious form of modern slavery, and should be abolished. People should have purview over how their precious time is earmarked, and their right to liberty should never be encroached on. In a 13-year insalubrious K-12 compulsory concentration camp, a person's inalienable right to liberty is severely encroached on in all facets. In this control market economy, people are sentenced to a 13-year insalubrious K-12 compulsory concentration camp against their own volition, which some people refer to as a 13-year insalubrious K-12 compulsory prison, due to it being an insalubrious environment that individuals are relegated to from a young age against their own accord. Being sentenced to a 13-year insalubrious K-12 compulsory concentration camp against their own accord in this control market economy not only dispossesses people of at least 37,440 hours of their precious and valuable finite sacrosanct time, but also induces stunted growth, chronic burnout, chronic sleep deprivation, chronic fatigue, chronic stress, depression, anxiety, misery, agony, distress, telomere shortening, accelerated cellular aging, and poor health. Moreover, being sentenced to a 13-year insalubrious K-12 compulsory concentration camp against their own accord in this control market economy not only dispossesses people of at least 37,440 hours of their precious and valuable finite sacrosanct time, but also sets up people to be poised for a life that is fraught with hardships, chronic poverty, penury, compromised health, chronic burnout, chronic fatigue, chronic stress, a severely reduced quality of life, an increased mortality rate, and ineffable despair. In other words, succinctly stated, being sentenced to a 13-year insalubrious K-12 compulsory concentration camp against their own accord in this control market economy is a primary reason appertaining to why most people have been set up for career failure as children. Lamentably, a person will not receive any universal basic guaranteed income, pension, benefits, grant, stipend, allowance, remuneration, investment securities, brands, knowledge, nor anything of value for having been dispossessed of 37,440 hours of his finite, precious, and valuable, indispensable, sacrosanct time during the course of a brutal 13-year sentence at a 13-year insalubrious K-12 compulsory concentration camp in this control market economy, in which he partook in boondoggle activities against his own accord by completing classroom assignments, by completing homework assignments, and by being transported to and from the 13-year insalubrious K-12 compulsory concentration camp every weekday for at least 2,340 days over at least 4,680 needless trips. The only way to get out of poverty is to establish and subsequently build up sizable recurring revenue streams that are steep enough to offset your recurring expenses. The attainment of the American dream is metaphorically outside the parameters of a person's reach if he forgoes the opportunity to establish and subsequently build up sizable recurring revenue streams on autopilot amid his early life years. A person needs to possess extreme wealth in order to be able to achieve the American dream. When a person is sentenced to a 13-year K-12 compulsory concentration camp against his own volition in this control market economy and is not compensated for the 37,440 hours that he was dispossessed of amid his sentence at the 13-year insalubrious K-12 compulsory concentration camp, then it renders him all the more primed to succumb to career failure. So people had purview over how their precious, invaluable, finite, indispensable, sacrosanct time was earmarked amid their early life years then they would be at a significantly higher probability to achieve the American dream when they reached their adulthood years. The person is going to be mandated against his own accord to perform 37,440 hours of labor, then he should at the very least be remunerated for performing 37,440 hours of labor against his own volition. I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, insightful, engrossing, enthralling, and informative. I hope that you're entrenched in the unalloyed epicness. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.